Today's horoscope and tarot reading from Astrocademy, Pisces March 28, 2022. Today's conversations revolve around love, relationships, pleasure, and emotions, although the general approach is detached and not necessarily deep or personal. If you have the chance, create something fun or fabulous, even if it's a creative dinner or new entertainment. Love feelings seem to dominate today, even if it's more about thinking about them than connecting with them. There can also be some exciting revelations about your buried desires or needs today. Approaching things just a little differently comes naturally now, particularly with work, finances, and emotions. Alternative methods seem more useful. Information surfacing now can help free you from something that was holding you back. With the moon balsamic, be sure not to overdo or push a matter, but do aim to enjoy the positive vibes that could very well lead to small breakthroughs in your work or intimate life. You have a positive attitude and focus, even if you're tying up loose ends and taking things easy for now. The sun continues to energize your orderly 6th house of due diligence, but it is also in the process of approaching a harmonious sextile to rebellious Uranus via your 8th house of mergers, shared resources, and soulmate connections. Whether you're single or already romantically attached, chances are you've been putting your current connections under a magnifying glass, perhaps in hopes of making something work in favor for both you and a significant other. Fortunately, with the help of Mars and your planetary ruler, Venus via your 4th house of home, family matters, and innermost feelings, you're keeping your eyes on the prize and thinking long-term. Now under the new lunation, your attention shifts from home and family to your creative endeavors. As the day goes on, you may be thinking about what you can do differently in your line of work, who inspires you, and what you could make yours. Luna is inventive in atypical Aquarius, so it can be the perfect transit to brainstorm new creative processes. Since it is such a mental lunation, you should write everything down to keep track of your brilliant ideas. So far this week the stars have been kind to money matters, with the Moon, Venus, and Mars all forming a friendly aspect to the North Node in your financial sector over the last few days. Today it is the turn of the other side of the financial fence, with the Moon's return to your work sector as a new moon set to put it at a friendly aspect to the South Node in your income sector over the coming days. You're running around in circles trying to make up your mind about something, most likely your love life. It's not going to come down to anything rational, so go with your gut and where all the cuties are going. Giving in to your instincts is a natural move for you. However, there is a tendency to confuse instinct with excess. The planetary alignment challenges you to find what is really the best outlet for your instinctual urges, and can provide direction if you tune in. Some dietary advice: try to use grains and legumes for your energy and protein sources this week. Starting a new book, or perhaps a course, may hold great interest for you today. Learning is an integral part of being a 7, and with the essence of this day in the air, engaging in a new venture may suit you marvelously. Try to reach beyond your usual interests by exploring different subjects. This will bring greater expansion to your development and knowledge base. Let your love of learning steer you toward greater enrichment by entertaining the possibility of completely different experiences. The moon's departure from your financial sector today will bring last full moon to a close, taking the pressure off not just the sun but the 3 planets in your income sector. This will see any financial tension or strong emotional responses dial back, but not before having an indelible impact on both sides of the financial fence. As well as leaving you with your financial instincts and imagination fueled, there is a chance to draw a new line in the sand. On the income front in particular, financial tension is turning into motivation. In a case of perfect timing, the moon not only returns to an adventurous part of your chart in time to spend the majority of the weekend here, but with positive implications on the romantic front. From the start, the moon is acting as a bridge between Venus and Mars in Aquarius and Ceres in your romantic sector, just as they have already spent the week becoming more closely aligned. This will add fuel to a mix of romance, passion, and adventure. Your tarot reading for today. The Moon, the Emperor, and Death. Recently, you have been doubting yourself and your chances of achieving your goals. The cards suggest a reckless and ambitious character, whose life path seems subject to unforeseen obstacles and disappointments. Often joyous, sometimes sad and nostalgic, this same person evokes youth and is an alternative way of representing the world. They accompany you in your joys, your anxieties, and your fears. They represent change and show that your life path is subject to hazards. This symbolic representation of the cards you selected shows that at the end of the month of April 2022, your mindset should be changed. Sometimes optimistic, you could welcome a happy event in your life that could bring you much comfort on the personal level. However, the doubt that you are suffering from today could continue and cause you to reconsider some of your goals. The cards also evoke a powerful bond between you and a person who means an enormous amount to you. This very close relationship allows you to confide to each other and discuss the challenges you face today. This person understands you and their advice will help you to advance in the right direction. During the month of April 2022, their role could be decisive. Their way of seeing the events you will face will help you to make good decisions and seize the opportunities presented to you. Although there are still lots of gray areas today, you must take into consideration the lessons of this draw and pay close attention to the events that will follow. Our eyes in the sky. During this time, communication will be direct and impulsive. In order to avoid conflict with others, choose your words carefully and put your verbal sword away when expressing yourself. Words can hurt, which is something you're fully aware of, but try to understand the power they have right now. It would behoove you to try to be nicer to the people you care about. Before asserting yourself and speaking too bluntly, think about what you want to express. You can attract more kindness with sweet and sincere words. You're speaking more loudly and boldly than you have before, which means that many people can hear what you have to say. Your points are important, so use your power for good. It will serve you well. Take a step back and try to keep things simple and light in order to process all the information that's coming your way. Once you're able to look at matters from a more objective viewpoint, you'll be able to gain more clarity. Just after midnight, Mercury enters Aries, where it will transit for just over 2 weeks. At this time, our thinking is decisive, and we voice ideas that we ordinarily would keep to ourselves. However, we also risk speaking impulsively with little regard for possible consequences. Hurtful words are said in haste. We should avoid the assumption that another's difference of opinion somehow invalidates our own. With the beginner's mind befitting Aries, we risk a crisis in confidence, particularly if we are newly exposed to concepts that we have no experience in explaining or demonstrating. There is a fine line between thinking on our feet and rushing to the finish line. Around dawn, the Aquarius moon sextiles the Aries sun, helping us to express ourselves. We are communicative but have little emotional stake in whether others agree with us. We know our purpose and our intent, and we won't be swayed by popular opinion. However, we are respectful of foreign ideas, and can even find ways to incorporate unusual initiatives into our personal practice if we aren't being forced to adopt a position.